This was not the only work that Pdois had been engaged in. Pdois had been leading Gambia from the back, protecting Gambia from the back. All of you could remember the Senegambia Confederation. We will come to this in subsequent exchanges because we cannot say everything on this particular day. But to come to conclusion, all of you may remember, if you're old enough or could read to know, that there was an overthrow of the government in 1981, leading to Senegal intervening. And when they came with their troops, there was war. Many Senegalese lost their lives. Many Gambians lost their lives, in the hundreds. Nobody talked about that chapter. There was if you can remember Femi Jeng, a real broadcaster, very talented young man. He died in that tragedy. Many young people died. But at the end, the government was completely submerged under the control of the Senegalese government. So it was not a confederation of equals. And we had to take the documents, made sure that we tore it apart, explain all its elements, and one could see the amount of resources. The Senegalese 52 million currency at that time, the Gambia 26 million. But then when you combine it together, the Senegalese were in control of the Confederal forces, security forces, the Confederal Gendarmerie, the Confederal Intelligence Unit, the President, Confederal Presidency, the ministerial post. So you will see that all that money went to security controlled by the Senegalese forces. Nothing was planned for infrastructural development. Nothing was planned for the Senegalese people or the Gambian people. So it was very clear that the Senegambia Confederation was nothing but a security apparatus that served no purpose to the Senegalese and Gambian people. So eventually it had to collapse. All of you can remember the coup d'etat of 1994, how Pdois shifted the trajectory of those who carried out the coup, up to the point of preparing them to formulate draft a constitution, and eventually to come back to the politics of political parties, constitution, elections, and the change of government to the ballot box or its retention to the ballot box. It is that process that gave rise to 2016, because we relied on the constitution to be able to effect the change that was brought about. And you could say that during the impasse, it is that maturity to be able to rely on the Constitution that enabled us to help the security forces to take a stand and not enter into a civil war by taking sides, to be together up to the day when power would be handed over on a constitutional basis. This party has guided the Gambia during all its trials and tribulations, kept a steady course, and delivered a Gambia that is still at peace with itself despite its poverty. The way forward is to prepare thinkers innovators to be ready to come together to save the Gambia. Throughout the history of this party, there has been a battle between two forces. Political forces whose fundamental aims are to share the Gambia and make it the property of a few, whilst the many wallow in poverty, ignorance and injustice, and those whose fundamental aim has been to save the Gambia and ensure that power and wealth will be properties of the people that will be harnessed to ensure liberty, dignity, and prosperity. These are the two forces that are battling for the life of the nation, for leadership. We want to emphasize that more evidently than before. Before, we could come together for regime change, to change the Gambia for the first time so that the people will know that they can change the Gambia. Having brought about that change without their lives improving as they wish, we are saying now we must move to the next phase of bringing thinkers together, innovators together, in order to build a Gambia that is fit for us to live in. A Gambia that is fit for us to be proud to bequeath to our children and our children's children. That is the task. That is the call. Each of us must begin to love country and people and be ready to give mind, to give heart, to give conscience, to give will. Save our country. Thank you.